Hello family, it's Shanique from FroFamilyTravels. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be breaking down the cost of living in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. So we have been living in PDC for, maybe 4 months now. I guess, yes, I think we have done 4 full months now. So I think that's long enough for us to have a rough idea, a decent enough idea of what it costs month to month for us to live here and to be able to share that with you. So I have my laptop here because I'm gonna be breaking down the exact amounts for you, so you know potentially what it's like and how much it costs to live here. We are just a little bit of a background, so you can get an idea of our scenario, because obviously everyone's situation is different, and so our costs are typical for us, but it's definitely not typical for everybody. So you need to think about your own circumstances and your lifestyle to determine if it's going to be similar for you or more or less. So we moved to Playa del Carmen. This time round, we've kind of been in and out of the country since 2020. We've probably spent most of the last 4 and a bit years here. My son was born here in 2022, so yeah, we're permanent resident. It is the place that we are choosing to call home for now. Who knows how long that will last though. But let's talk about housing. So we live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I will insert some clips so you can get an idea of the type of accommodation that we live in. It's in quite a new build, and it's about a 10 to 15 minute drive away from the center, away from the beach. So we are not walkable distance from the beach. I mean, I guess you could walk it if you really wanted to. Yes, we're about a 10 to 15 minute drive away, and it is a new build. It's known as a condominium, so there are hundreds of apartments in the area, the neighborhood that we live in, and it also comes with amenities like swimming pool, a playground for the kids. Actually, there's 4 swimming pools here, there's 2 playgrounds, palapas, so you can have like family celebrations and parties if you want to as well. But yeah, everything here is quite new and quite modern. It's definitely one of the newer accommodations to have been built here in Playa del Carmen. And we currently pay 19,000 pesos for our monthly rent, which is 720 pounds or 930 US dollars. And actually the only reason that it is 19,000 pesos is because there was not an oven installed here when we came, and I really wanted an oven. Ovens aren't really common here, so we were seeing lots of apartments and they didn't have ovens, and I was like, I really want an oven, and I thought I'd just ask. And they obliged, as long as we were willing to pay a little bit more on the rent. So it actually was 18,000, and that was pushed up to 19,000 pesos per month so that we could get our oven installed. I will say that I think that this is not a common price for this location, especially the fact that we're in one of the newest builds here. I would say you are more likely to find prices of around 22,000 to 24,000 pesos, which is closer to like 800 to 900 pounds a month, closer to like 1,000, over $1,100 per month. I don't know what to say as to how we were able to get it for this price. I just kind of stumbled upon it. But when you look online, most of the prices are definitely more than we're paying. So I wouldn't take this as like normal pricing for this area, especially furnished. Our place is technically considered semi-furnished. It did come with like the basics, so beds and like table, chairs, the fridge, microwave. But in terms of soft furnishing, it didn't come with any of that. We had to purchase our own linens, our own cutlery. We still don't even have a mirror in one of the bathrooms. So it's considered semi-furnished, and we had to add all of the soft furnishings ourselves. All right, so let's move on to utilities then. Our electricity is actually expensive at the moment, I would say. Partly our fault, I will say, because when we first came, we didn't have a drying rack, so we were using the washer and dryer. And that kind of pushes your bill up, and so we're kind of trying to work that back down at the moment, and our bill is slightly decreasing with each bill that comes, but it seems like it's going to take a minute before it's really reflected. We also noticed that we have dehumidifiers, and they also are quite pricey to run. We don't even really use the AC, but it was starting to get quite warm, and I noticed some mold in like our pillows, so we decided to purchase dehumidifiers. But even though we stopped using the dryer, I noticed that our bills were still expensive, and so I was talking about it in one of the WhatsApp groups that we're in, and someone mentioned that we should stop using the dehumidifiers, and I have noticed a decrease in the wattage usage since we've stopped using that. So yeah, that's an interesting point. So you have to look carefully, like if there's any certain appliances that might be pushing up your bills. So the way that electricity bills work here in Playa del Carmen in Mexico is they're sent every 2 months. So you don't pay monthly, you pay every 2 months. And I've got one bill here. This was our last bill, which we got in March, and this is for 5,000 pesos for 2 months. And 5,000 pesos is about 200 pounds roughly for 2 months, so about £100 a month, which for me is too expensive. When we've lived here in the past, we've definitely paid like 20, 30 pounds a month, 40 pounds a month even. But I'd say this is the most we've spent on electricity. We've never spent 100 pounds a month. And the previous bill I've got here was for 2,000 pesos, which is just under 100 pounds, sorry. So this last bill that I've got here was 2,300 pesos, which is just under 100 pounds. Yeah, and this bill includes the month before we arrived. So yeah, that's roughly what the bill looks like. But this includes the month before we arrived, so that's why it's even lower. And like I said, in that first month we were here, we were definitely using the dryer a lot. So I'm looking forward to seeing the electricity bills decrease, especially because it is really warming up, and we know we're going to have to use the AC soon. So I'm hoping that decreases. Electricity is really hard to like determine an average. It really depends on usage, especially like how much you use the AC. As I said, right now we are not using the AC at all, but I know that's coming, so I'm trying to keep the bill as low as possible. But I've definitely heard some people who run their bills up to like 10,000 pesos per month, which is like 400-500 pounds. No, we will not be doing that at all. But it's possible. It can happen, definitely. And it depends on what tariff you're on. So right now we are on tariff 1B. There is another tariff, like another level up called DAC. If you end up in DAC, then it is like crazy money that they charge you per kilowatt. per hour, and apparently it can take 6 months to get out of DAC into the more regular tariff 1B, which is where we are now. So yeah, we're not trying to get into DAC tariff at all. All right, and now on to water. Our water has been like very consistent the months that we've been here so far. This is what the water bill looks like, and I've got this one, which is 272 pesos, and this one, which is 273 pesos for February and March. So pretty standard, literally like £11 a month, or in US dollars, we might say that it's about $12. So water's very affordable, and we use water liberally. Like, we're a family of 4, we all take 2 showers a day. Like I said, we've got the washer here as well. So yeah, we don't hold back on water. We definitely use it a lot, and yeah, it's still very affordable, and that's consistent with, I would say, everywhere that we've lived. We've never really paid more than like 200 or 300 pesos a month for water. So water's very, very affordable. Okay, and then next we're going to talk about the internet. So right now we are using a company called Terrared, and with Terrared, that's our broadband Wi-Fi package that we use, and we pay 700 pesos per month. We just created, or our landlord created an account for us, and we just have to make sure that we pay by a certain date each month. There's an app that I use to make the payments, and that's £700 that's set every single month. And we also, as a backup option, we do have Starlink internet because we work remotely, and it is very important that we have consistent access to internet for our work because we do video meetings. We decided to install Starlink as a backup option. I know, it's Elon Musk. I know we all have feelings about him, but you know, you got to do what you got to do, and we need to make sure that we have good connection. And Terrared can be unreliable. In the last month, I will say it's been fantastic. We've had no issues here with Terrared at all, but we like to have the backup option just in case, because then we can automatically switch to Starlink. Starlink works all the time. Like, it's not the greatest in terms of like connectivity. Like, it does drop and lose connection sometimes, but it always comes back up online, I would say within like 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm never concerned about being completely without internet as long as we've got the Starlink connected. So yeah, with our internet with Starlink, we pay 1100 pesos per month, which equates to £40 per month, or 51 US dollars. And there we also have our mobile data as well, and we are with a company called Bait, and we use them because they have unlimited internet, unlimited data option for 300 pesos, which is £12 or $15, and we also use that as a backup of a backup for our internet as well. And I have actually taught with it, and it was absolutely fine. The connection was good, the speed was good. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons that we went with Bait, and that is how much we pay for our kind of housing costs. All right, and then now I want to move on to everyday living expenses. Let's talk about schooling for our children. So our children go to a private bilingual school, and we are currently paying for the both of them 9,322 pesos per month, which is £350 per month, or $454. We do get a small 10% discount because we have siblings, 2 children that attend the school. I would say that's kind of average for a lot of the private schools here in Mexico. And yeah, they both attend full time, and the school accepts children right from, I think, from 6 months all the way up to 16 years old. They are a non-traditional school, so there is not an emphasis on like sitting exams and doing tests and those kind of things, but you can, and they do have that option if you want to as well. So yeah, we love that school. And for our grocery shopping, so in terms of the way that we shop, I wouldn't say that we shop like locals per se. We probably still shop quite similarly to how we would in the UK. Only difference is we probably buy even more fruits and vegetables because they are affordable here, and of course they're fresh and sweet and wonderful, all the wonderful things you could think of. So we definitely do go through a lot of fruit. You can see the fruit bowl over that side behind me. So we go through tons of bananas. You know how it is with children, they eat everything, right? So we do go through a lot of fruit and vegetables. But outside of that, we do still have our home comforts. We have a lot of oats, for example, bread, rice, typical things. I think we do have some like cakes and things from time to time, and I would say that it's that stuff, like if we're going to purchase like Oreos, crisps, the stuff that are imported, that does push up our grocery bill, shopping bill. I feel like I've been around so many different types of people from around the world that I just don't use English phrases anymore, so I say groceries now instead of shopping. So we spend approximately £250 per month on like tinned what I call hard food, I guess, and like canned foods and stuff. And I usually go shopping online. We use like Walmart, and I'll shop like for the whole month online, and then we will do like little top-up shops in the week, and usually that's when I'll get our fruits and vegetables. All the fruits and vegetables we get from the local fruiteria, and then there's a couple other local fruiterias where we'll do our top-up shops as well. Our total food shop is £250 a move, £250 for our canned stuff and kind of packaged stuff, and then the fruits and vegetables we spend about £20 a week. So that's a total of £320 per month and $415. So eating out, we typically eat out once a week on a Friday when we go to the beach, and we'll just go to a local restaurant or like get burgers or pizza or something, and we spend roughly about £15 to £20 a week on that, I would say. And we also, if you want to call it eating out, I don't know, but our main meal that we have a lot of the week is we go to like our favorite grilled chicken spot. This place does the best grilled chicken in the world. Compare it, if you're from the UK, compare it to Nando's, when Nando's used to be good, because I know Nando's is not the same as it used to be anymore. It's a bit like Nando's, but it's even better. It is literally like some of the best chicken I've ever had. If you're in Playa del Carmen, I'll drop the link for where it is. It's so good. But yeah, so we get that once. So we get actually two whole grilled chickens from there every week. And then I'll pair that like with a salad. And they are like 170 pesos per whole chicken. So we spend about 340 pesos a week on that grilled chicken. And then the rest of our food is made up on stuff on the side usually. All right, and then so our dining out, eating out total comes to around about to £120 to £150 per month. We'll call it $194. All right, and now transportation. So typically we get around by walking for the most part. We love to walk, so we don't have we don't usually use many transport options. However, for the children, getting the children to school, we do take them to school by taxi. And then so when we're coming back home, we sometimes use taxi as well. And the taxi costs, I would say that we spend about £100 a month on taxis because we use them twice a day. and it normally costs between £2 and £3 one way for us to get the kids to school. We also have a subscription for Bici Playa. We also have a subscription for Bici Playa, which is like the local bike rental, and both my husband and I have that, and that is 400 pesos per subscription, and we have 2 subscriptions. So like when we're going to get the kids, then we'll jump on a bike to go down and get them, and then we'll come back with the kids in a taxi usually. But yeah, so mainly we only use bikes and taxis now and again. So there you go. Our typical price really is about £100 per month. All right, and then we're going to go on to lifestyle and entertainment. We don't do a whole lot, to be honest. It's mainly beach days, maybe local events, you know, going to like the cinema and just odd hobbies now and again. So I've kind of put down £100 a month because it's really rough and estimated and just as and when things come up. But there's nothing kind of really set that we do as far as like entertainment is concerned. And then finally, let's talk about insurance and healthcare. So we have Nomad insurance with Safety Wing. I will put the link in the description below, and it gives us emergency healthcare, and we pay about £100 a month for that. So it's about $129 for our family of 4. Outside of that, like if we need to go to the doctors or hospital, we just pay out of pocket. Since we've been here, we haven't needed anything at all. We've been absolutely fine, very healthy. So that has been like nothing outside of our typical insurance. So altogether, that comes to a grand total of £2,037 a month, or $2,644 US. So let me know, what do you think about how much we have been spending here in Playa del Carmen? I think as a family of 4, it's pretty decent, considering, you know, kind of we're in the sunshine, we're minutes away from beautiful beaches. I will take it this way. Compared to like when we went back to London and we were potentially looking for somewhere to stay, I couldn't find anything less than $2,000 to $2,500 for rent alone on like a 2-bedroom apartment in London. There's some food for thought. So I think the fact that our expenses includes all our accommodation, food, school for the children, healthcare, I think £2,000 is decent, and I think we live very comfortably here. Obviously, like I said, it depends on your lifestyle, and if you want to do more or less than us, if you have children or not, if you're single or not, will determine whether you're going to spend more or less. Than us, we're very chilled, we're very relaxed, we have a very simple lifestyle, I would say. Not local, but we're not extravagant either. I would just say we're kind of mid-range, mid-budget kind of living expenses here. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that gave you kind of a good idea of cost of living here. Let me know what other kind of videos you would like to see about living in Playa del Carmen, and as long as I can accommodate, I'll be happy to. All right, family, look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye.